What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to our channel. Today's post is titled Light and Darkness. As this is a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'd be referring to Matias as me and to his higher self as I am. Me. Perhaps there is no duality harder and more controversial than that of the third eye. From time immemorial, the stories that emerged from night and day and their battles for supremacy have divided the world, and yet, in favor of the light, most fall into the tools of darkness. What makes this polarity the most difficult to integrate? I am. It all started with those bacteria that we once talked about. At the bottom of the ocean, the volcanic broths of minerals and high heat allowed the emergence of living organisms from the combination of these elements, generating a membrane of minerals to contain a drop of water within it that would allow them to contain energy. This originated a cell, and they began to become more complex by filling the bottom of the oceans. The enormous quantity was left without food, and the only option they found to ascend and look for another type of food from the dark abyssal bottoms, they emerged to the surface, searching for the light. They became photosensitive and began to photosynthesize, that is, synthesize light to make it energy and food. This expanded the unicellular organisms to be multicellular. The population of the oceans was so great that many began to also seek to surface. Vegetables did it first, who by looking for sunlight changed the Earth's atmosphere by filling it with gases, absorbing carbon from volcanoes and releasing oxygen, creating the biosphere. Thus, it was that the animals began to consume the plants and then to consume each other. For billions of years, each living being organized its life according to the appearance of the sun and the arrival of night. The light implied food, security, visibility. The night implied danger, energy saving, sleep. Taking advantage of the circumstance in which the majority looked defenseless at night, many animals became nocturnal, attacking and creating in the collective subconscious the idea of evil beings that emerged from the darkness. The great battle was to consume light energy, to feed on it, and it did not matter how, everything was worth. When the hominoid appears, all this information begins to rationalize. Well, one of the attributes of the beings that would give rise to the human is the ability to share information through culture. Culture became the way humans conveyed the importance of light by calling it what is good, and darkness what is bad. The stories of demonic, angelic beings, divinities, all that formed the basis of the human mentality was the transmission of the basic information of day and night, solstices and equinoxes, seasons, sowing and harvesting. So, me, I find it fascinating to understand that what we have today as beliefs has come to us through the transmission of basic concepts such as food and safety. I am. That duality does not happen on planets with more than one sun or with a lot of light. Here, it is very marked by the fact that half the planet is at night when the other is day. Me. So this duality is not bad if it is in our ancestral nature. I am. Of course it's not bad, it's useful. Although it ceases to be when seeking to transcend the physical world and wanting to reach the spiritual one makes us project our biology on a level where there is no such division. As long as you have a body, you will live between light and darkness because your pineal gland controls your sleep and wakefulness. It is sleeping and waking up. Organically, you are designed to fall asleep at night and protect you in a safe place and wake up in the day to act. For this reason, the surge to act in the light does not come from a spiritual and unconditional path, but from a biological reaction. Me. And what about all the beings that I feel or feel? What we call angels and demons, all the beings that we recognize as light and darkness. I am. The earth is a unique system, but at the same time, a fractal of the universe. As above, so below. The correspondence shows that everything you perceive on the outside is a projection from the inside. But in turn, the formation of the inside has been a constant reaction to the impulses from the outside. Now let's get off Earth to see the cosmos. In the beginning, there was only the void, the nothing. Similar to a black hole, exactly, the maximum darkness. Like the bottom of the oceans, an enormous energy collapsed in this deep void, generating a vibration that expanded in the form of light. The light was energy, and the more it vibrated, the more frequencies and patterns emerged, collapsing back on itself. The moment of the Big Bang arose, the great explosion that generated matter. The light traveled in all directions, and now it was emanated by suns that radiated towards the 360 degrees of a sphere. When light is projected onto a physical object, shadows appear. In all this process, you have to see something. Darkness is what allows us to see matter. It is what gave life to the universe. Since from the void and the collapse of the light on itself, existence arose. Light is the energy that sustains life and guides it on the paths of existence. Me, as in the image I chose for today, what we see as diabolical or dark is nothing more than the projection of the light on the forms. I am, angels, demons, and many other entities are like the multicellular organisms of the cosmos. Both seek to use energy for their own benefit, just like living beings on Earth. The dark ones, demons, the devil, are nothing more than the designers of realities, architects of life, who distort the light so that we can exist. The dark are like bees that take pollen and nectar from the flower of light, from the salmas, to create honeycombs and honey. And if you disturb them at their work, they won't hesitate to sting you. Sometimes the dark ones want to live their own creations, looking for energy in human bodies or in nature, just like insects or bacteria or viruses. Demons are the mechanisms of development and evolution. The beings of light are the plants, the flowers, the direct product of light that unconditionally deliver medicine and food. Neither plants nor insects are bad in nature. In fact, without one or the other, the world would be destroyed. Me. So you tell me that what we have put to war has never been in battle. I am. Some have been. As in the kingdom of insects, there are many struggles, and many devour the flowers, but it is still something natural. Humans put culture to what didn't have it. Beings of light and darkness have worked together since the beginning of time in the same way that plants use insects for pollination. Me. So the light uses the dark to expand its territory? I am. That's right. And the more plants, the more insects, balance. They are creators of the world, designers of life. Me. And why do they attack us sometimes? I have lived exorcisms, and I have felt the struggle between beings of light and darkness. I am. Sure. As I told you, in nature, there is an incessant struggle to consume energy, and humans are a very large emotional source. Me. And how do we make this stop happening? I am. You can't kill bees because you know they can sting you. You must learn to live with them. Plant more plants, more flowers. Give them nectar. Make offerings to them. Me. This reminds me of what they do on the island of Bali, Indonesia. The first time I went, I saw that they put offerings of flowers and fruits on the doors of temples and rooms. I asked who it was for, and they told me it was for demons and darkness. At that moment, I was surprised, and they explained to me, if you honor them for their work in the world, make offerings of food to them, they will feel loved and will not mischief. It seems the most loving thing I have ever heard. I am, because as we speak, darkness and light coexist in symbiosis. When you seek to enter the world of consciousness, you see that everything is one, and the world of unconsciousness, rooted in positive and negative currents, disappears. For consciousness, there is no struggle between the two, but they are useful, yin, yang. Me, entering the spiritual world of consciousness, then, is to understand the nature of all entities of light and darkness, recognizing that it is the light that projects the dark forms that we see. I understand that when the light expands in matter, it reveals its irregularities and distortions, showing all the aspects that must be integrated. I am. Look at the image again and see how the light is a perfect circle, a sphere of light, which on matter reveals all the steps of evolution in a dark, demonic image. Normally, in the times of wisdom and initiatic schools, the most essential knowledge of light was disguised as scary beings: spider, snake, scorpion, crocodile, the devil, and many others, because in this way the sages made sure that only those who had transcended fear and the survival of the world of forms would come to wisdom, who could see through the eyes of the serpent, who pierced the devil with security, would see the light behind. The steps of evolution were disguised as darkness to understand that it was only a mechanism for the development of light, bees, and flowers. Me. So, I am light and dark, both live in me, and honoring both parts is that I can transcend full consciousness. I am. Find the balance between your lights and shadows. Draw them, manifest them, and you will be free, because you will become a creator of realities. Me. I am light and dark in balance. I am creator